Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Cobblers, apparently, or shoe repairs. So no summer is normal if I am not fixing a pair of my wife's shoes. So she has an extensive collection of shoes. Right, what's the problem in this case here? So these are a pair of Deichmann. It's a chain of shoe shops, pretty cheap bargain pair of well-made, comfortable, high-heeled, open-toe pumps. But like many Deichmann products, they have, of course, some. It's not real leather; it's man-made leather, and some of the materials are not really fantastic. These shoes are actually a copy of. They're inspired by a designer shoe. Don't remember the name of the designer shoe, but see there's a fake buckle here. In the designer shoe there's actually an open part down here. So the material of the upper is actually good quality because it's not scraping, it's not cracking. Other shoes can in time crack and peel and not look very nice. But the problem is here. Let me see if you can see what I'm talking about. Yep, on the heel. So the heel is a solid plastic structure. It's a piece of plastic with a metal pin inside, which is then held onto the sole. Here there's a metal plate called the shank. In fact, if I were to apply a magnet, the magnet is catching on the base of the shoe and even on the heel, especially on the heel. So the stiletto heel has got a steel core, a pin. That's why it doesn't break off. This is something which is designed to sustain incredible stresses, and generally they don't break off. Then, so what have I noticed? Here, the fake leather that's covering the heel is sort of it's scraping off. You don't notice it much now because I touched it up with a black marker pen last night. I'll then apply shoe polish here and that won't be visible anymore. And here too there's a great big part here that sort of just we were out yesterday. We went to get the place where we get our meat, where they actually, it's organic and they grow their own animals. And so we were in the country, gravel. My wife was then playing with one of the dogs, and she likes dogs. And then when we came home, I said, "Oh, look, I think your shoes need some attention." So here, the very thin fake leather is just disintegrating. And it's also what's happening as well. The material is such a rubbish material that the heel seat, the heel, no, not the heel seat, what's the name of this? This is the heel breast. This part here is called the heel breast. The glue has pulled off the actual material that covers the heel. So, I'll shift this one out the road. So what am I going to do? I'm going to glue this back in place. What's the heel breast? This shoe has got a breasted heel. So we've got the outsole, which is glued on, which comes all the way up and sticks onto the heel. So this is what you call a breasted heel. If this heel, I could show you a different pair of shoes, but I don't have one pair handy. If this heel here didn't have this part here, this all one piece with the sole, it would be called an island heel. This is actually the best design of high-heeled shoe because the breasted heel adds solidity to the ensemble, because this heel is glued on, it's then nailed on, and there's also, here you can't see it, in the shank there's a screw right there. So this thing is not coming off anywhere. That's Hollywood. Generally, if a woman's heel gets stuck, unless she's got ankle straps, the shoe comes off. A heel might break on a boot, because the heel, of course, it could happen on a boot. In fact, the only time I've ever seen a woman with a broken heel, many years ago, was at university. There was a girl who was in the canteen, and this girl came in. She was a very good looking girl, and she was wearing very nice high heeled boots with only one heel on one of them. Her heel had broken off, and I can imagine she was going around all day. Maybe she'd come for an exam, etc., and she would have had to go to the cobblers to get it. Probably got caught in a cobbles or whatever, broken off. But had it been a shoe, her shoe would have got stuck, and then you can easily just maneuver and pull the shoe out. I've done it for my wife on many occasions. Okay, so let's get this thing here glued back on. Of course, we're going to use Bostik. This is, we'll have to apply the glue, then let it evaporate. Once it's evaporated, the instructions on this type of glue, it says apply to both sides, both parts, and wait 10-40 minutes for the solvent to evaporate. That's easy, it's easy to see. So if you start touching with your finger and it's not sticky anymore, and it doesn't smell of solvent, it means that it's time to press it hard together. This is the glue I have. Of course, cobbler's glue, shoemaker's glue, instead, you don't need to do this. You just put it on and you paste it and you press it hard. I've seen it done at the shoemaking polytechnic here near Padova, but of course I'm not a cobbler. I don't have shoemaker's glue. I have this one here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply this, and then we'll just glue it back on. And I'll see how long this video is. We're at 7 minutes, so we might make just a follow-up video once they've been all polished up. I'm not doing I don't think I can make an edited video out of this. Let's see. Okay, right, I'm gonna get this thing done. We'll do it together. Let's get the spot of Bostik here. We don't need very much. Somebody is testing a motorcycle near here. We'll apply it using a toothpick. That's my favorite tool. And we have to make sure that the parts don't glue together. So I'm just pulling them all. Oh my. Oh. Apparently it's going to be a bigger job than planned. Oh yeah. Really stuck on with spit. Let me see what I can use here to keep this out of the road. Oh, never a dull moment around here, folks. In fact, we're going to use a paintbrush to do this. Better still. I have a rubbishy old paintbrush I use. Let's remove any traces of old glue that are here. Okay, and we're staying up enough. Okay, we're going to need more glue than planned. Putting my glue in here. And then of course I have to glue it also inside the breast, the sole, the breast of the sole. I use this old paintbrush for these jobs. I think I need I need some more glue. What looked like a minor repair is turning into a major repair. What a classic. Okay. It's good that it's very hot weather, so this stuff will evaporate quickly. The solvent will evaporate quickly, and I'll be able to get the shoe pressed back together pretty fast. I'm covering the two surfaces with glue. Even over here. Now we have to do the inside of the heel. Here you can actually see the sort of translucent white plastic of the heel body. I've got some glue on the heel, but then I'll be clean it off with some solvent afterwards, some lighter fluid. Right. So we've got the heel covered in glue now. Need some more glue. The cobbler's glue is got in a wee tub, and there's a brush. It's lovely piece of equipment. The cobbler, the shoemaker's glue pot. But I don't do these repairs so frequently to justify a bottle of cobbler's glue. Okay, now we can do the actual heel, the part of the sole, the heel breast. Maybe I was a bit too generous with the glue, meaning I've squished out too much, but I always believe in being generous. If in certain cases, in this kind of job here, other times I'm pretty careful with the glue, and I tend to try even to suck it back into the tube. But I'm doing a job, of course I'm getting the stuff on my hands. I'll be on there for the rest of the afternoon, as typical in these cases. I'm adding another wee bit here just to make sure that this is a good, I mean, this is not causing any structural damage to the shoe. The heel will stay on, no problem, but you don't want the sole to start coming apart. It has to be all one solid piece, because this glue is also helping to hold this heel in position. So yes, it is contributing to the stability of the structure. Okay, right, now we're going to let this thing here. The two parts mustn't come in contact until the solvent has evaporated, so we're going to have to find something to keep them apart. There's something which is not too something bulky. We just want to wedge something. I think we're just going to put this thing here like this, and this will just sit here like a blade, and that will stop the parts from coming in contact until the glue is evaporated. So having done that, I'm putting the cap back on. Okay, so next video, once everything is glued together again, we'll apply another bit, some more black marker pen. I also used to use modeling paint here to cover up the scabby parts, but Marker pen is good enough. One of these. Tratto marker, perfect. And anyway, you put shoe polish on top of it, so that's not a problem. She bought these shoes on Vinted. They were practically unused, but see, this is something that was not caused by use. It was in perfect condition. This is just obsolescence. So what do? These mass producers? They know that generally women, in particular, or people, but I'm pointing, these are women's shoes, so I'm not wanting to generalize. I live with a woman, so I know a few things about them. They follow fashion, and I am somebody, I don't follow fashion at all. It doesn't exist. My wife doesn't really follow fashion. She likes a certain style, and she'll go for that style. And so she liked these shoes. She already had another pair, but she got them a slightly smaller size, and she wanted a bigger, because she would actually be a 38.5. In reality, sometimes she has to wear, she generally wears a 39. In summer, your feet get more swollen, so she was looking for a 39. So this is planned obsolescence. So the shoe will get scruffy, even if it's still good, and that way you go and buy something else. But the collections change, so she kept her eyes open and she found them at a very good price, and she got exactly what she wanted, another pair of tricolour shoes. And strangely enough, these ones, which I think are more recent than the other pair she has, have started manifesting this problem of bad heel covering material that the other ones don't have. So this is just using cheap material, and they know very well that the heel is the part which is most exposed to scratches, scrapes, etc. And it's just planned obsolescence, so that way you encourage consumerism. But the whole point is that in this case here, this is the proof that consumerism can be kept at bay by simple, cheap repairs. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. It's one of my collateral shoe repair videos, and I'm going to wait for this here the glue to evaporate, the solvent, then I'll clamp everything together, and then I'll show you in a second video the finishing work with this and with a spot of shoe polish. So this way we do the full Monty. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and I always like to read your comments. And also let me know what you think, and if there are any ladies out there, let me also know what you think about this idea of consumerism, of ever-changing collections, not being able to get maybe what you want, and the general idea of the second-hand market to repurpose fashion, which I think, to repurpose anything, because most of my train collection has been bought second-hand, everything has been bought second-hand, and repurposing and reusing. So, it's not even connected to the environment, it's just a logic matter of common sense. Right, cheerio, and see you next time. I'm going to have haggis for lunch today. Cheerio. Haggis in a very hot June.